Hello everyone, I'm going to go over 3 multiple choice questions about nucleic acids. And in these set of questions, I'm going to go over an easy one, a medium one, and a hard one. With that being said, let's just jump right into it. Here's the easy question. Which element is found in all nucleic acids but not in carbohydrates and lipids? So remember that carbohydrates and lipids are only going to have carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen. The nucleic acids that we're talking about have an extra element, but what is it? So we know for sure this question can't be carbon, it can't be hydrogen, and it can't be oxygen, since this question is asking which of the elements is found in all nucleic acids but not in carbohydrates and lipids. So we can automatically look at our answers and cross out hydrogen, oxygen, and carbon, since we know that those aren't the answer. So now we're between helium and phosphorus. Well, we know helium's not going to be in nucleic acids. Helium's not in any of the nucleic acids, but phosphorus is the right answer. But if you remember, all nucleic acids have a phosphate group that's made of a phosphorus atom and 3 oxygen atoms. So we know that that phosphorus element defines nucleic acids versus carbohydrates and lipids. Here's our next question, the medium one. Which part of a nucleotide can vary among different DNA nucleotides? Remember that again, all nucleotides are going to be made of a phosphate group, a sugar, and then a nitrogenous base. Okay? Each phosphate group is going to be exactly alike between all the DNA molecules, and each sugar molecule is going to be exactly alike between all of the molecules. So what's going to be different is the nitrogenous base. This is why we have the different nucleotides like adenine, thymine, like glycine, and cytosine. So with that being said, we know that it's not going to be the phosphate group, so that's wrong. It's not going to be the sugar, that's wrong. Nitrogenous base sounds right, but let's check the other answers. Number of phosphates, nope. Each of the DNA nucleotides is going to have the same phosphate group or number of phosphate groups, and the number of carbon atoms in the sugar, nope, that's also going to be the same between all DNA nucleotides. So the answer C is correct. Here's our last question. Phosphodiester bonds in nucleic acids connect. The reason why this question might be a little bit more difficult is this part right here. A lot of students get tripped up on really big words. So remember, when we're breaking this word down, phospho is going to really signify that it's connecting a phosphate group. So what we're going to look at are what the phosphodiester bonds connect, and that's going to be between the sugar molecules and the phosphate groups of neighboring nucleotides. So let's see if we can find that in the answer. A, nitrogenous bases to phosphate groups. No, those don't actually connect, so that can't be the answer. Sugars to nitrogens. Nope, that can't be the answer. So again, we're looking for these bonds or something to describe these bonds. So our next one, complementary bases across 2 strands of DNA. So no, that's talking about how the nitrogen bases connect between the 2 strands. The 3' hydroxyl of one nucleotide and the 5' phosphate of the next. So the 3' and 5' ends are going to denote where they're found on that sugar molecule, which means this probably is the answer. Let's look at E though. 2 ribose sugars directly through hydrogen bonding. Nope, that doesn't sound right. Doesn't mention anything that we've talked about. So D is the right answer, and it is correct.